Jesus again challenging the norms and societal conventions. This week, Jesus challenges the assumptions and expectations of who he is and his authority over many things. Much like in the Get Smart movies and television series, the question, would you believe, is a struggle that the hearers of Jesus' day must come to terms with. As Jesus is preaching in the synagogue in his hometown and doing miracles, people ask questions. Where did this man receive all these things? What is this wisdom that has been given to him? What deeds and miracles are being done by his hands? Isn't he just a carpenter? Twice before in this gospel, Jesus has taught in a synagogue, and each time he's met opposition. Once from an unclean spirit and another from the congregation. What starts out as a friendly and curious observation changes drastically as the people talk to themselves, and the attitude of skepticism and amazement becomes more and more divided and heated. They ask question after question until they find themselves completely opposed to the ministry of Jesus, because they remember him from back when. There's no easy fix. There's no easy satisfaction for them. And so Jesus leaves the area, being deeply hurt, and goes to the other towns surrounding. There is no easy fix for many of us when we've been deeply hurt by people that we thought we knew well. When we're hurt by those who we don't have any dealings with those who are strangers, we're not surprised. We're not even that bothered. But we have euphemisms and phrases for when people who know us well hurt us, that we've been stabbed in the back, we've been betrayed. There's no Band-Aids to cover that deep pain and disappointment. Indeed, sometimes we can hardly help but be paralyzed because of destructive emotional pain inflicted in addition to the physical pain. And still, it's worth noting, even while admitting that it doesn't fix the situation, that Jesus, still hurting from being rejected by his hometown, family, and friends, sets about doing the work of the kingdom. That knowing that the work of the kingdom still needs to get done, even though he's hurt, even though he's been betrayed by those that he knew so well, Jesus continues the kingdom work. He goes among the other villages nearby, teaching and preaching and doing miracles there. Jesus' hometown has to be left behind because they didn't believe. Jesus is forced to go elsewhere so that he could work with people who would believe in him. And when we follow this same pattern and we respond with something positive after painful encounters, we continue this same powerful pathway. When we continue in the work of the good news by teaching Sunday school week after week, attending board and committee meetings, visiting shut-ins, and saying daily prayers, and sharing our gifts, and studying the Bible, and giving our energy to the work of God's kingdom. Maybe after we've been hurt emotionally and mentally. When we can do those things, in spite of those deep inner pain, God is pleased with us for soldiering on and being one who perseveres. When we can do these things and be like Jesus and go on about the Father's business in the kingdom, even after Jesus was rejected in his hometown. Shortly thereafter, Jesus sends out the 12 to proclaim the good news, the gospel. Mark is careful to tell us that he didn't send out theologians or seminarians, He didn't send them out with even lots of equipment, but as simple, poor messengers, ready to speak to whomever and whenever they would listen, encouraging them to move on if somebody didn't believe. Jesus said, just go. If they listen to you, preach. If they don't, shake off the dust and move on. The good news for us is we have one thing that the disciples did not, and it indeed makes a lot of difference. We have the experience of centuries and millennia of the faithfulness of God. We have this experience of God and Jesus crucified and risen. We know that God has overcome death and the things of this world that would have scared and challenged the disciples. We know that we are overcomers. We have seen what those centuries and millennia have done, and we await the day that we are united in that final kingdom with God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So although we may observe everything going on in this world, and we marvel at the unbelief around us, we go forth, knowing that Jesus goes with us, giving us the ability to proclaim His good news and practice our faith in all that He has done, all that He is doing, and all that He will do.